Hello everybody and welcome to Computex 2023. It's been 4 years since I've been here and things have certainly changed a little bit. The first video we're going to do here is to talk about monitors, and we're going to talk about this one. It is a brand new OLED super ultra wide from ASUS. So this is QD OLED as well, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not really sure. I think we've seen any QD OLED yet from ASUS. Traditionally they're using the sort of LG panels, whereas this is of course QD OLED, which is manufactured by Samsung somewhere else. But this is a monitor that actually is like two monitors side by side. We've seen this in the likes of like the Samsung Odysseys and things like that before, but this is QD OLED, 1440p times 2 basically. And we're going to talk about everything you need to know about this monitor, including some brand new tech over there as well, ultra low motion blur 2, right after a short word from this video sponsor. Introducing Sky Protect. Sky Protect is a smart new way to protect the home you love. Sky Protect blends together home insurance with smart tech that lets you keep an eye on things when out and about for complete peace of mind. You get a video doorbell, indoor camera, leak sensors and security sensors all included, designed to stop small problems becoming big ones. Learn more about what Sky Protect can do for you today with the link down below. So yes, your eyes certainly do not deceive you. This is the brand new monitor from ASUS. This is the PG49WCD, and this is the first quantum dot OLED monitor that we've seen from ASUS. And obviously this thing is very large, so you will need a very large desk to properly accommodate this. But the thing is, you look at this and obviously it is big, but fundamentally if you're the sort of person that does want to have two 27-inch monitors on your desk side by side anyway, then this is arguably about the same, maybe even slightly smaller. There is a curve on this, but it's quite gentle, and I like to see that because something I've seen time and time again at the moment from new monitor releases, it's like a really crazy wraparound curve. But I find that's just not really practical at all for anything other than gaming. There's a lot of distortion. So I think they've done quite a nice job here, really. I mean, it is a little bit on the flimsier side, but that's more to do with the weight and the size of the display rather than ASUS's implementation. I think they've done quite a good job overall. Of course, the main benefit we're going with quantum dot OLED is all about the brightness, it's all about the HDR, it's about the perfect blacks. And OLED monitors we've seen for quite a long time, but I think they are still fairly new really in the gaming space for something that you'd actually want to spend a huge amount of money on and use this dedicated for gaming. Burn-in is always going to be a potential issue, but quantum dot OLED in theory should be better with that because you don't actually need as much brightness to produce the same amount of brightness that you see in your eye. This is rated for 1000 nits, and I don't think this is going to be sustained for very long, but they have actually implemented a custom heatsink on this, and that should mean that you've not got to worry as much, shall we say, about thermals being the limiting factor. You're going to have to make a conscious choice, right, between whether you want something that is going to be super bright as often as possible, or you want something that's going to have as much longevity. But the monitor I've been using at home hasn't seen any significant issues. I've not noticed anything yet, so it's not something I would worry about too much if you're going to use this properly for gaming. But as we know with quantum dot OLED monitors and OLED monitors in general, productivity is a slightly different story. If you are Excel spreadsheets by day, gaming by night, probably not the right monitor for you. One thing I have noticed that is potentially missing from this though is any form of NVIDIA G-Sync certification. We do have AMD FreeSync. This is AMD FreeSync Premium Pro, and it's rated for display HDR 400 True Black. So this is one of the OLED specifications. It's a bit odd to say you're getting 1000 nits peak, but then only have it rated for 400. I'm not sure whether this is actually going to be something that's going to affect this monitor, or if it's just a bit of an anomaly really, where this is between two different specifications and maybe it doesn't fit into either. And also, bonus monitor, there's another one. This is actually 38 inches, 4K, 144 Hz. So the main spec here really, or at least the new thing, is the fact that it is 38 inches. When I saw the press release, I assumed this would be an ultra-wide. I admit I am slightly disappointed that we don't have an ultra-wide, but it's interesting to have another size because we've now got 32, 38, 42 and 48 inch monitors. This has HDMI 2.1, as I say, 144 Hz. This is an IPS monitor, display HDR 600. So it's not like it's got crazy specs or anything like that. If you are after the ultimate gaming monitor and you want it to be 38 inches, you're gonna have to look elsewhere. But it's still nice to see that there are better, or at least more options out there, because some people say 32 inches is too small for 4K. I understand, and if you want something that you can use as a proper monitor, you want to use it in desktop mode, but then you do also want to maybe play with a controller, sit a little bit further back and enjoy it as a TV as well, this might be a slightly more comfortable size, because personally speaking, I do find 42 inches is too big for me to use as a monitor, but then there are you guys out there that say that 48 inches is the perfect size to have on your desk and the way you use it. So it's all about personal preference. Nice to have the option. Also, it's pretty cool that they've got the ROG Ally here, and this is what's actually driving this monitor and this display. So it's not the absolute best, highest resolution image I've seen, because obviously of the source, but it's quite interesting to actually see this, I guess how ASUS want you to use it in docked mode and then portable out and about. But anyway, come over to the next monitor. It's all the way over there, and usually I do like some lovely PC Centric cutting, but I do want to give you a sense of scale here at Computex, because it's such a cool place. Honestly, it's so nice to be back. And ASUS always have one of the biggest booths on offer. We've got this ROG one here, and then the standard ASUS one over there, where you've got more things like ZenBooks. This is obviously the proper gaming zone. You've got everything really that you could want as a PC gamer. You've got laptops, graphics cards, Wi-Fi routers that look really cool, but I'm sorry, Wi-Fi routers to me are never really massively interesting. As long as you get the speed you need and they work, I'm happy. I'm not a fiddler when it comes to that sort of stuff. But now I'm just buying for time. Come on, let me show you. I lied, we might have to wait, there's a queue. We managed it anyway, we got here, and we can reveal the new monitor from ASUS. This is 1080p, which I know is very esportsy, it's not the biggest specification in the world, is it? But this is running at 540 hertz. But this is almost like a double monitor combination, because this actually has a brand new technology. It's called NVIDIA Ultra Low Motion Blur 2. And this is something I'm very familiar with, because around about 9-10 years ago, this technology was first unveiled with 3D monitors. You had 120 hertz modes for 3D, active shutter, 60 for each eye, or you could have 60 hertz, at least I think it was 60, maybe it was 100. It wasn't the full refresh rate, that's one of the main limitations anyway, of Ultra Low Motion Blur 1. And essentially what they wanted to do was to actually strobe the backlight when all of the pixels were in their correct position, which would help to reduce the amount of blur that you saw on screen. And it really did work. A lot of people were a fan of it, but because you had lower brightnesses and you didn't get the full refresh rate, people found it was potentially a little bit limiting. So what NVIDIA have done is brought this technology back, and it's starting with this 540 hertz monitor, and then the 360 hertz monitor that ASUS are already selling, the PG38UQ. That's actually available with a free firmware update, which is pretty cool. That's being demoed over there. But this new technology works to have much better brightness levels. I think it's about 250 nits or more of brightness. That's the minimum to get the certification. But the main way that this is improved really is by actually using the G-Sync technology to actually align the backlight strobing with the images displayed on screen. And it's really clever, because there's a lot of timing to work out behind the scenes. Not only is it got to be done at a precise time, but that time is variable depending on the refresh rate. And the end result is that you get something that just has an insanely low level of motion blur, and the perceived motion blur is actually around about 2 to 4 times better, or at least that's what they claim, versus having this technology off. But what we've got here is 144 hertz on the left, 540 hertz on the right, and what both I and the cameraman Gareth were thinking was, this already looks really good, so is Ultra Low Motion Blur 2 technology really going to be necessary? I'm not entirely sure. Whereas what we have over here on the right hand side is actually the monitor that was released last year, the PG248UQ. I covered this on the channel, full review, top right corner of your screen, but they're actually issuing a firmware update for this display as well to have the same technology. And this, I think, is potentially more interesting, because it can increase the visual smoothness, if you like, or the visual clarity of text and motion without really having to change anything. It's pretty cool that they don't actually need to add anything in other than a firmware update to get this to work. Clearly this was either delayed, or they chose not to launch this, or it wasn't ready, whatever it was when these displays originally launched. But yeah, Ultra Low Motion Blur 2, cool little tech from NVIDIA, and I think a lot of people are going to be very happy with it. But let me know your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. Which of these two monitors do you think is the most interesting? Are you interested in going for something huge, or actually is more esports your sort of bag? Absolutely smash the like button on this video if you've enjoyed it, get yourself subscribed, and if you do want to check out current pricing on the monitor we have behind us, the PG248UQ, you can find that down below with my Amazon affiliate links. And while you're searching down there, why not check out Computex? Computex is a genius new way of protecting your home, combining exclusive smart home tech with home insurance. Security cameras and sensors can get very expensive, which is exactly why Sky bundle £250 worth of smart tech with Computex home insurance. Perfect for keeping an eye on your home when you're away. Protect the things you love with Sky. Learn more with the link down below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.